is just tell the truth and trust in the American people that over time they're going to know what the truth is.
Yes, it is time for the truth. Right here, right now. This is the Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. With your host, John Matthews.
The latter-day prophet. Baying against the hypocrisies of our time.
And Joe Akos.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most informed pundits and activists available today. Together, we seek to tear down the imaginary wall, a separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement on the religion of politics and the politics of religion. And now, your hosts on the globally syndicated Conservative Syndicate, John Matthews and Joe Akos.
Hey, how are we doing out there tonight all across this great republic and around the world? It's that time for the Conservative Syndicate coming to you once again live coast to coast and around the world, where it's prime time sometime, all the time, someplace, and we're so glad to have you with us this day after Halloween. But boy, the bewitching is still going on strong out there, is it not? Here we are a week away from determining whether or not we may be able to start recovering from the atrocity known as the Obama administration. 7.5 years, almost 8 years now. And we're on the cusp here. We don't know. We're still at this place where I think anybody with any sense really can't predict what's going to happen right now. But boy, I'll tell you what, the Clinton machine is sure pulling out all the stops. I don't think I've seen anything like this. I mean, even the Obama administration, during their two separate campaigns, didn't have to sink to the low levels that the Clintons have. Of course, you know, as we know, the Clintons are bottom dwellers. So where else are they going to operate? You know, the bar can be anywhere. I mean, when you're at the bottom, of the swamp, the only what is there left? You look up. That's it. You can only go up from here. But they just, I don't know. They keep trying to dredge the swamp out to make it even lower. I guess it's amazing, just amazing to me, just what's taken place in the last 48, 72 hours here. And it really, in one way, it really kind of makes me rather livid that I can't take a weekend off. I actually took this past weekend off. Didn't look at the internet too much at all. In between, you know, some other things. I saw some stuff and, came on social media, made some comments about some articles and stuff, but didn't really do the research that I normally spend weekends doing. I decided, you know what? This has been one just atrociously hectic and chaotic election cycle. So I thought, okay, well, I'm just going to not do a whole lot over the course of this weekend. My wife and I went out and enjoyed ourselves, went to a concert and went down to Pachanga. Those of you who know where Pachanga's at, spent a little time in the slots and just thought, let's just get away. And I come back, crank up the old computer this morning, and lo and behold, oh man, the Clintons are at it again now. The talk of not Barack Obama. I'm sorry, I guess they're just synonymous. I have a tendency just to, when I'm talking to one, thinking of the other. Donald Trump now, I guess, has done the cardinal sin here. He's just like Hillary Clinton. Okay, he's just like Hillary Clinton because apparently now Donald Trump has a private server. Oh my God, a private server, a private citizen with a private server, colluding and scheming with a bank over in Russia. And we know that, well, the bank is probably the front for colluding with Vladimir Putin himself. And boy, and it just doesn't it just tell us everything that we've been saying, all the speculation that we've turned into fact, all the spin, lies, and deceits. Yes, that Donald Trump is best friends, BFFs with Vladimir Putin, and so all the emails, all the WikiLeaks, everything else is false. It's just misdirection, misinformation created between this alliance, Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. That's what the whole spin is here, guys. And they had to use the word private server as if to allude to the fact that he's doing just exactly what Hillary Clinton was doing. And so who is he to be lodging complaints against Hillary Clinton? Who is anybody to be lodging complaints against Hillary Clinton when we have Donald Trump, the sexual predator, according to the words of Megyn Kelly over there at Fox News, has a private server, and he's using that private server to talk secretly with a Russian bank. Who knows what evil lurks between these two parties here? And, well, here's an eye-opener for you. Even if Donald Trump had a private server, and perhaps he does, you know, the guys, I could see it. Well, anyway, the point is he's a private citizen. He's not handing out secret information. He's not forwarding his emails to his Yahoo account on his husband's laptop. He's not conversing about selling uranium to a rogue company over in Russia. And he's not using a state.gov email address. Well, of course, Hillary wasn't either. But the point being is, she was a public servant using a private server to conduct official state business. At worst, Donald Trump has a private server that to some degree or another may or may not actually have had some correspondence with a Russian bank. Now, we know that that's we're going to talk in detail today about that. I'm probably getting ahead of myself here, but it's already been debunked, and debunked by who else but the New York Times. The New York Times, which could have been called the Clinton Observer or the Clinton Times, much less the New York Times. And they're the ones that came out, the first ones to come out and say, no, this is probably, as they're using the phrase in the media today, a nothing burger. So we're going to talk about that today. I've got a couple other things I'm going to talk about. I want to make some references to Rush Limbaugh, a conspiracy that he floated last week, because we here at the Conservative Syndicate actually floated this conspiracy within hours after the announcement of the FBI reopening their investigation to Hillary Clinton. And when I say within hours, I say within a couple hours. I know it was within the first 2 hours of seeing the first story, and I put out there on social media on our Facebook page, which if you want to go visit it, it's facebook.com/Conservative Syndicate. You'll find it right there. That there's this WikiLeaks, or the reopening of the FBI investigation, may actually be a ploy to distract. Well, we certainly know that the Russian secret server, Donald Trump communicating with a Russian bank, is also another distraction, and so we're going to talk about it within that context. So, I got a couple other things I want to talk about here during the course of the day. We're going to have Audrey Russo from Real Talk Radio with us in our first segment here, right after we go to the break, which will just be in a few minutes here. But let me just make a couple of comments here, opening comments, before we get into today's festivities. A black church, group of black church leaders have sent Hillary Clinton a letter, and they have sent her a letter addressing religious liberty. A group of prominent African-American church leaders delivered a letter to Hillary Clinton on Monday, calling on her to show them the same respect she shows wealthy white donors. The letter, signed by 26 pastors and religious leaders, including Jacqueline Rivers of Seymour Institute for Black Church and Policy Studies in Boston, states they're concerned a Clinton presidency would mean their religious liberties would be under attack. In the letter, these leaders criticize Clinton for surrounding herself with individuals who are so hostile to religion. Key players on your staff have sought to subvert Catholic teaching on sexuality by planting externally funded groups in the church to advance a politically correct agenda. Wow, church planting. There's a new definition for you of church planting. We're going to put moles inside the Catholic Church to do what? Bend the decisions and opinions of those in the Catholic Church that may be against same-sex marriage and abortion, of all things. And so what they're asking Clinton is, What would you do as president to guarantee that religious freedoms are balanced against civil rights rather than being trumped by them? Well, you know damn well what's going to happen here. Clinton, they want to meet with Clinton, you know what's going to happen. Clinton's going to tell her what a great Christian she is, what a great devout Methodist she is. And, it's all about religious freedom. Of course it's all about religious freedom, just like, I don't want to subvert religious freedom. I don't want to subvert gun control. I don't want to subvert free speech amendments. No, I just want to regulate the hell out of them until we get to some such point that they're actually useless. So, anyway, there you go. We're going to go to our quick break. When we come back, we'll have Audrey Russo with us from Real Talk Radio. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. Don't go away.
A healthy attitude toward politics will always be relentlessly cynical. TheConservativeSyndicate.net, doing our part to keep America healthy.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification require cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing, and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Attention taxpayers. If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately. Call this special tax hotline today for free info at 1-866-761-0959. That's 1-866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959.
Don't get your panties all in a bunch.
The ConservativeSyndicate.net, exposing weapons of mass distraction. All right, hey, we're back, and you are listening to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, and along with Joe Hakels, who's off today. Joe and I had, sometimes these things just work in tandem. Just like I have these little elves and demons that run around my soundboard and constantly just screw with my head and try to drive me crazy. We have, sometimes we just have things come up and, I like to put it this way. Between Rush Limbaugh and I, we make $30 million a year. And Rush Limbaugh can afford to have people do the show for him when he's not there. We don't have that luxury. So yesterday, we had a new bed. My wife and I ordered a new bed, and it showed up. And lo and behold, I don't know what I was thinking. I must have used a Democrat measuring tape and had measured the size of the bed wrong and got it into the room and realized it wasn't going to fit. And so I ended up having to move the entire bedroom around to get the bed in. And Joe calls me up last night and he says, John, you're not going to believe this. My water faucet or the shower head in my the piping coming into the shower head in my bathroom exploded last night. And he said I had about a force of water coming at me here at about Mach 10, so I've got to fix the shower. So he's not here today. He's out fixing the shower. So anyway, but we got the best alternative for that, and that's Audrey Russo here from Real Talk Radio. How are you doing today, my dear?
Hey, John, how you doing? Well, obviously, you're having the same IT problems I am.
Well, yeah, I'm still messing with my computer here. I just my whole system was set up using what they call virtual cables. When we first set the show up here, we were setting it up to run on Spreaker. And Spreaker and Skype are not very user-friendly. So we had to put in virtual cables to be able to pick up Skype on the show here using the Spreaker console. I quit using that, but I kept the system in there. And what it did was it hijacked all of my paths in my computer. So I uninstalled the stuff a few months ago. And in doing so, completely screwed everything up. And now I've got a phasing problem with an interface unit here. I'm going to have to pull hardware out this weekend and to fix it because it just keeps jacking with my head here. I go crazy on this stuff. I'm too sophisticated to be dealing with this stuff. No,
I hear you. I mean, I had let me see. It was more than a week nightmare between two so-called IT professional teams. And it's been an utter nightmare. The last one tried to install a fake copy of Windows 10 on my machine. He didn't even have the sense to give me a product key.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Windows 10 is not its own nightmare. Let's use a pirated copy where you can't get updates anyways.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, but charged me $210 for it. And when I couldn't get into the computer, I couldn't do. And I said, "What's the product key?" Oh, well, I don't happen to have one handy.
Oh, yeah. You know what I did to resolve this problem? I had problems with Windows 8, and everybody I know has Windows 10. It's just livid. Some of the other people I know in streaming, they've had their system go down for 3-4 weeks at a time while somebody tries to figure out what the problem is. I went on eBay and bought a copy of Windows 7 64K, 64-bit, okay, and installed that. And then I installed what they call NoWin, which is software which keeps Microsoft from trying to update my software to Windows 10. And that eliminated that problem. I will not use Windows 10 on anything. That's just me.
You don't like it?
No, I don't like it. I didn't like Windows 8.
I had Windows 8 Pro, and when the Nimrods wiped my drive out, which had hundreds upon hundreds of dollars of software, which I thought was backed up. I was supposed to get a free upgrade to Windows 10, which I've understood it to be better than Windows 8. I liked Windows 8, but I got Windows 10 Pro, and I like it. I mean, it's got some stupid stuff. I don't like apps on my computer. You know.
Right.
I'm not into it. I like them on my phone or my Kindle, but definitely not on the computer.
Yeah.
It's annoying. Even the graphics of it is annoying, you know? Yeah. So I don't use that junk. But, I mean, it's, I don't know. It's all right. I mean, I can tolerate it.
Yeah, well, I don't use apps on anything. I don't even use apps on my phone. I'm not into that stuff. I'm like, you know, somebody keeps join my Snapchat. No, I'm not. I don't have time to sit around just send you silly ass pictures of me down at the donut shop, for crying out loud. You know, I use phones for what they were created for. I use them to call people and to receive calls. And I'll text if I have to. But the rest of that stuff, nah, not into it. I put a Facebook app on there once, and I didn't realize that every single thing that happens on Facebook was going to come into my phone. And I'm constantly, my phone is always vibrating in my pocket. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, you know, my wife must be having a major emergency and find out somebody wants to talk about their cat. You know, it's.
I got a bunch. I mean, I have a very old phone. I think it's a Samsung S2, yeah. But it holds enough stuff. I mean, I could do whatever I want on it. I don't like the. I'm not into taking snapshots, you know, and sending them to people. Anyway, today you got to be some moron to do that, you know.
Yeah, well, I miss my old phone, which looked like a communicator for Star Trek. The flip open, you flip open the top, but it just got to the point where it just wouldn't handle everything that was happening out there, you know. So I had to finally give that up. But got myself one of these little Samsung things. Oh, one thing I have learned how to do with it is do videos. I go down to my granddaughter's. She's a cheerleader, freshman in high school. She's a cheerleader, so we always go down there to her games and take pictures of her. Doing her cheer stuff, so that's kind of cool. So anyways, my wife the other day, we were down at a concert on Sunday night, and I took a picture of her sitting in the theater, and she goes, well, send it to my phone. I go, no way. I don't even know how, not going there, all right? Anyway, talking about all the secret stuff out there that none of us know anything about.
Yeah.
I was just saying at the beginning of the show here, I decided to take this weekend off, meaning that I didn't spend my normal allotted time going on the internet and doing research for my show this week, because I just felt like, hey, I got to get a break. So my wife and I took off, went on a road trip. I come back, and I think, what, I should know better. It's like, what can happen in 24 hours?
Today.
I come back, crank up the machine this morning, and lo and behold, we now have another scandal, or alleged scandal, or insinuated scandal. Donald Trump has a private server talking to a Russian bank.
Yeah. Was that the most idiotic thing you've ever seen in your life? They must really think, I don't know what it is. We already know that their constituency is like, let's put it this way. A grapefruit has greater intelligence than they do. And that's not because God created them that way. They made themselves that way. It's intellectual laziness. And then after a while, the brain turns into a raisin,
Yeah.
But for anyone to believe that, come on.
Well, it was, it had to be a private server. I got a kick out of it. Just the idea that they would float something like this out there. I'm sitting here and going, let's just play the devil's advocate for a second here and think that Donald Trump is talking secretly, working on some project with a Russian bank. Maybe he wants to build a hotel over there in Kyiv or something like that, okay? And so I'm thinking, well, okay, so what does that have to do with anything? But the fact that we use the word private server it now puts him in the same category with Hillary Clinton, completely avoiding and ignoring the fact that as a private citizen, he has all the right in the world to use a private server. She is a public servant using a private server to conduct citizens' business. And and I'm thinking, and as I'm saying, the tinfoil hats out there that vote for Hillary Clinton no matter what, wouldn't even take that one moment to just say, well, Jesus, private citizen. I did happen to catch down at. We went down to Pachanga, which I don't know if you know what that is out here, but it's a.
No.
It's a casino because all the Indians out here in California have their own casinos and don't have to pay taxes on them. So.
Well, I think that's everywhere in the country that when Indians have that. Yeah, but it's called what? Kachinga?
Pachanga. That's a Pachanga tribe down there. And,
no, I'm joking.
And so, I'm not a very good gambler. So when we go down there, my wife likes to play. So I go down there and she gives me $20 and just tells me to go away. And so I'll go dump it in the machine. If I win something, I'll usually walk away. Well, I didn't win anything. So then what I do is I head over to the bar. And even that's kind of disappointing because I don't drink anymore. So I order ginger ale. Of course, that's free. They give you free ginger ale. You just got to pay for the booze. Of course, they pay $10 for a drink. God, that would cause everybody to give up drinking. But so I'm sitting there watching the weekend football game. And since Pachanga's real close to San Diego, it's the San Diego Chargers and Denver Broncos were playing. Anyway, what was I even bringing that up? There was something I was watching the TV. There was something on TV that caught my eye. And now I can't remember what it is because I talk too much. Okay, so anyway, this whole idea of I know what it was. As I was sitting there thinking, when this came out, when they reopened the FBI investigation last week, and these things just click in my head, and I thought, how convenient that they would have reopened this FBI investigation. And there's a couple, we can talk about that as to why that's happening. But the first thing that popped in my head was, this is a distraction. This is being put out there for the purpose of distracting from what we're finding out about WikiLeaks and the Clinton Foundation and Donna Brazile leaking questions and, Bill Clinton making all kinds of deals for the Clinton Foundation. Hillary Clinton receiving money from the King of Morocco, $1 million birthday gift to Bill Clinton from this guy who's a dictator, tyrant, all this other kind of stuff. And, that would make sense. Let's talk about the FBI reopening an investigation, that kind of thing. Maybe that they put Comey up to that, And then so the same thing happened this morning. I'm looking at this and going, well, this must be a distraction. It seems like everything is coming up here. Not so much, I don't know if it's so much to try to nail Donald Trump against the wall as it is try to get everybody's eyes off of what's going on with the WikiLeaks and the Clinton Foundation. What do you think about that?
I mean, that's a thought, but the WikiLeaks thing is continual. So people now are looking for it. I don't think that the other one will, they'll move their eyes for a few seconds and say shake their head, yep, okay, and they go back to see what WikiLeaks has next. I'm thinking the 33,000 that she deleted is coming out.
Yeah, well, at least some of them, huh? I heard this morning that there are estimates up to 65,000 emails that she forwarded to her Yahoo account, which, by the way, she claims she doesn't remember doing it. She's like, I don't know how those got on my husband's laptop. I'm like, okay. And here's the thought here before we go break. You can comment on this in a few minutes that we have left here. What do you think the chances are that Huma Abedin gets thrown under the bus here?
Oh, are you kidding? Remember, she's like Obama in that sense. She will throw anyone under the bus. Anyone. Uma? Oh no, she's a goner. I put up a joke meme about this is when. The look on your face and look on her face when you're about to be in an accident or the suicide, because it's an accidental thing. Watch what happens here, because she's now on Hillary's SH list.
Oh yeah, you can tell because the camera shots of her coming out here. She looks down. She's not even looking at the camera anymore. And I think the most appropriate picture I saw the other day was Hillary Clinton being helped up into the Oscar Mayer Wiener mobile.
Oh, yeah, right. I saw that.
I thought, boy, now somebody really has their act together to come up with a meme like that.
That's great.
It's just because I can see, you got to throw the big fish at the public here, and so that Clinton can deny that she knew anything about it. So anyway, hey, look, we got to go to a quick break here. We have Audrey Russo from Real Talk Radio with us. When we get back, we'll get into some serious stuff. We breached the topic here, but I want to get into it in depth here. So stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Ever wonder how the credit card companies make their money? Well, think about this. If you owe $25,000 on 5 different credit cards and you make your minimum payments every month, here's what it's going to cost you. Are you sitting down? You'll shell out over $13,000 in additional interest, and it's going to take over 13 years to pay off your original $25,000 balance. That's how they make money. Now it's your turn to fight back by calling the Debt Solutions Network. We'll work on your behalf to reduce your debt. We specialize in credit cards, retail store cards, and medical bills. We promise we can and will reduce your debt. Call right now for a free 15-minute debt analysis. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392.
Expand your life with Expandovite.
When I had a heart attack at 42, I was not sure what the future held. But a year later, the doctors could find nothing wrong with me and took me off all my medication. What did I do? I took a herbal mixture of garlic, cayenne, and a few other herbs mixed in liquid form. I now call this Extendovite. I would have never believed that a few simple herbs could actually change my life like they did. Now it's your turn to see what the powers of garlic and cayenne can do for you. For only $69.95 plus shipping and handling for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid, you too can begin on your path to better health. For more information, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Expand your life with Expandovite.
I've owned my company for 14 years now, and I can tell you that payroll is a 4-letter word. I hate doing it. It eats up hours I don't have, and it costs me money I could be saving. But my accountant's too expensive, and I'm not sure who to call. But I know I need help.
We're Paychex, and we take all the hassles out of small business payroll. We save you time and money. It's easy. Call, fax, or give us your payroll information securely online, and we take care of the rest. We calculate the correct taxes, manage payments and direct deposits. We even send out your checks. Payroll doesn't need to be a 4-letter word anymore. We're so sure that we can save you time and money that we'll give you a month's payroll free. Just for calling 877-663-3830. Get 1 month's payroll for free. Call Paychex right now. 877-663-3830. That's 877-663-3830.
Hey, I don't back anybody unless I believe in them. And I do believe in the value of investing in gold and silver. And the company I trust to buy my gold and silver from is Swiss America. I've been working with them for nearly a decade. I trust them, and you can too. Swiss America will help you sort through and find the best options available when you're considering investing in gold and silver coins. Listen, for over 30 years, Swiss America has been offering Americans what they want in their investments: safety, liquidity, quality, reliability, and a potential profit. Gold and silver have a place in every investor's portfolio. So why not let Swiss America help you diversify your investment portfolio now? Call now for free information. 800-978-3907. 800-978-3907. 800-978-3907. 800-978-3907.
If you've got joint pain, let me ask you a question. Would you like a high-quality knee, back, shoulder, or ankle brace at little or no cost? But just in case your reception isn't great, let me ask you again. Would you like a pain-relieving knee, back, shoulder, or ankle brace at little or no cost? Well, if you have Medicare insurance, you could qualify for these pain-relieving braces at little or no cost. And these are high-quality braces. They are very comfortable, and they've helped thousands relieve their pain. Now, I'd like you to imagine going on vacation, playing with your grandkids, just living your life again without pain. The Mobility Hotline is a referral service that connects folks with Medicare coverage and other insurance to accredited companies offering pain-relieving braces at little or no cost. And don't you worry about the Medicare paperwork. They'll handle it all for you, and they'll deliver your braces for free. Call the Mobility Hotline now. The call's free. 1-800-557-6150. 1-800-557-6150. 1-800-557-6150.
Don't get your panties all in a bunch.
The Conservative Syndicate.net, exposing weapons of mass distraction. All right, hey, we're back, and you're listening to the Conservative Syndicate, Real Conservative Talk from Real Conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Audrey Russo from Real Talk Radio. And I want to get into just a little bit here. Let's kind of go in chronological order here, because if we don't, my head will start spinning. Just like, it goes into the bobblehead mode first, and then it just goes into total exorcist spins, that kind of thing. The idea here, this happened last week. James Comey came out and announced that they were reopening the investigation on Hillary Clinton's email server because they found, while investigating her right-hand person, her chief of staff here, her main go-to gal, Huma Abedin's husband, for sexting with minors, found some emails on a laptop. And although there's still speculation as to how many emails are out there on this laptop, Comey felt the necessity to report to Congress that they were going to reopen this investigation. Now, there's been all kinds of things that spin around this. There's been the idea that Comey knows of the emails, but nobody has them because they need a warrant to get them. They could be anywhere from a couple of emails to up to 65,000 of them. Huma Abedin apparently doesn't remember having the laptop that she forwarded 65,000 emails to. So the thing, the spin machine is just going, on fast forward. And one of the things that I had said right after this, I know within the first hour I saw it, I thought, oh, okay, this is some kind of distraction that is being perpetrated for the purpose of getting everybody's eyes and minds off of what's going on with WikiLeaks. Well, within a day, 24 hours, as usual, as normal, Rush Limbaugh always catches up with me about 24 hours later. Okay, I wish I should get at least half his salary, because I figure this stuff out long before it gets on his show. And we've done this time and time again. Joe and I laugh about the number of times that we speculate on something and we throw a theory out there, and within 24, 48 hours, him and Hannity have this stuff, of course, and they have researchers. Okay, they pay people to do this. We do it on our own, and we find it a little more. I guess maybe we're a little bit more warped. Okay, when it comes to how leftists think. People will say to me, God, where do you come up with that kind of stuff? I'm like, I understand leftists. I understand the way progressives think. I understand how evil works. And so it's not hard to look out there and see something, go, wow, how warped and perverted can somebody make this? And the ideas just flow. I would have been a good Democrat if I didn't have any ethics, because I could think this stuff up in a moment. Anyway, so now we got this. And then, of course, the latest is that Donald Trump is best friends with Vladimir Putin because he's dealing with some bank over there on a super secret server. And okay, and you know the bank is just a front. I'm sure they're forwarding everything to Vladimir and vice versa. You know, that kind of stuff, because that's how communists think. You know, that's how they operate. Anyway, so having said that, what I was hearing this morning on Fox News, Shepard Smith was saying that, and he was trying to figure it out. He's prefacing everything he's saying is, well, this is what I think is happening.
Worth listening to, believe you me, but go ahead.
You know, I said, well, you need to get Megyn Kelly on there, because Megyn Kelly will just tell you it's all because Donald Trump is a sexual predator. That's what's causing all this problem. But he was saying that the belief is, apparently they've known about this for a while. Apparently, there's been some infighting between the FBI and the Justice Department. Justice Department didn't want Comey to leak this. Harry Reid's out there claiming, Harry Reid of all people, out there claiming that James Comey has broke the law, the Hatch Act, violated the Hatch Act. Okay. Yeah, and you know, which is you're not supposed to be floating stuff like this out there. Of course, it was Harry Reid who came out in 2012, just a couple of weeks before the election in 2012, that Mitt Romney doesn't pay any taxes. Yeah, didn't have any information to validate that. Just threw it out there. And in fact, one of the articles I was looking at today, they were asking him, you know, to what degree will you go, Mr. Reid, when it comes to politics and your willingness to just say whatever you need to say to win? And he said, well, gee, I haven't reached that yet.
Well, you know, anytime I look at the left, I have a mental picture of a crying, whiny baby. Because they are the brats. If you remember when you were in grammar school, they're the brats that, you know, I'm not ahead. That's not fair because I'm not the head. That's not fair because I'm not winning. That's not fair because I can't cheat. That's not fair. That's it. This is all. And what do they say? Fairness, right? Fair share. They love that word because they've been saying it since they were in kindergarten. I have never seen a more, you know what? Now I'm not talking about the Antichrist here, okay? I just think the Democrat Party is Satan's party. It really is. I have never seen anything like it. There isn't anything they do that's honorable. There isn't anything they do that has any integrity. Nothing. I mean, so what else can you call it? Certainly not God's party.
Well, you know what scares me most out of just what you just said? The revelations that we have had during this election cycle on both sides. I mean, the Republicans have their problems too. They have their issues too. They have their sex lies and videotapes going on over there, and that's what has scared me. How long have we been in the dark about what's been going on both sides of this thing?
Well, the reason we're in the dark is because we haven't been doing our job. And, you know, we don't just elect people and let them do their thing. We're supposed to be paying attention. We're supposed to be on them like white on rice. That was our responsibility. We're the ones that failed there because they're spoiled little children up there on the Hill making, you know, having a party and on us.
Yeah, it is.
That's our job to watch over them.
Yeah, in fact, you just reminded me what I was alluding to when I was talking earlier about sitting down at the bar at Pachanga watching TV. They were interviewing some people about the latest with the emails, the reopening of the investigation, the emails, and they were asking some of the Democrats out there. I think it was CNN or somebody, and somebody was down there at one of these early voting places. And they were asking the Democrats, well, now that you know that there's something amiss, and the FBI is going to be reopening this stuff, and now that you know that WikiLeaks is telling us about Donna Brazile passing information to Clinton before the debates, and now that you know that there's talk out there, there's documentation that the Clinton Foundation is just basically, you know, a money funneling scheme, what do you think about voting for Hillary Clinton now? I was blown away by these people saying things like, well, she should be president because she's worked so hard during her career. Gag me with a spoon.
That's listening to a moron. And actually, there's some people that you get. I've been surprised with some people I have respect for that would blather all this idiocy that they're hearing in the leftist media, and you can't even question them on it because they become enraged because they don't have an answer.
Yeah.
You don't have to be. You can't say rocket scientist because there isn't one. You don't have to be a genius to figure this out. It's been out there, and as far as the Clinton Foundation, I mean, Charles Ortel, in his own time and money, has been looking into them for years. And he's been reporting on it. I've had him on several times, and it's all there. And he puts it out there for you to take a look at yourself. These people are corrupt to the core. There isn't anything redeemable in them at this point. They need to get out of the public eye.
Yeah.
And the Clinton Foundation, well, they should be prosecuted on RICO laws. They should, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, this whole idea that, let's talk about the good that they do. I haven't been hearing too much about let's go down and talk to the Haitians about the good that they've been doing, okay?
But good. None. This is all lies. They're all lies.
Yeah.
They've done no good. None.
No. And then one of the other ladies, the one that really got me, well, of course, you got the standard ones. It says that we need Hillary Clinton because we need a woman president. Okay. Well, I'll throw that one up there.
I'm a woman, and I'm offended by that. I really am.
Yeah. Well, people like that, I'm like, okay, you're brain dead. Okay, that we know that. Okay, but the one that got me was, well, everybody makes mistakes. Wait, you got to be freaking kidding me. We need to give her a chance. Everybody makes mistakes. And I'm thinking, okay, right?
I'm going to say, you know what? You're scary. I said, you missed your calling. Oh, was yesterday your holiday? That's scary to hear somebody say that in the face of a history, an abominable history. This woman is just an unindicted criminal.
Yeah. I like that term. I got to coin that. We'll have to use that in something. Yeah. Unindicted criminal, kind of like an undocumented Democrat.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you remember, CARE still is unindicted co-conspirators. Now, unindicted doesn't mean they didn't have the proof to indict them. They did. They have this. They've had enough to put her behind bars a long time ago. She's just unindicted. That's the only. It doesn't mean they don't have what they need. Now, look, I'm not saying that there's not distractions here or there, but there was a mutiny going on at the FBI, and I believe they found it, and they said to him, if you don't reopen this case, we're going to go public with this.
From what I understand, I was listening to Ed Henry over the weekend, made a statement from some of the people he says he's talking to, that really what was happening here was there was a feud going on within the FBI, that there were people within the FBI and the lower echelons that were just saying, this sucks. You know what you did when you exonerated this woman. You know what you did, and that even his wife, from one of the reports I was reading, his wife is all over his case, going, "Why did you let this woman walk away?" And what Comey was saying this morning, I guess he had some kind of press conference, and he said this morning that he was afraid that the information about the emails was going to be leaked from somebody within the FBI, and that's why he said, I got to get this out in the open now because somebody's going to leak it anyway. And if that's the case, then, I'm not feeling so great and patriotic about James Comey. He's trying to cover his own ass now, and that's what this is coming down to.
I've seen the reports that his wife told him, get on the ball here.
Yeah.
He's trying to, I don't know if it's true or not. It appears as though he's trying to redeem what little is left of his reputation because it's in the toilet right now.
Well, we know that, and one we got to go to a break here, but I'll just leave with this parting comment here. I did not know that James Comey was appointed by Barack Obama. When I heard that, I went, oh, okay, everything fits now. Everything fits. We got to go to a break. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation here with Audrey Russo from Real Talk Radio. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate.
There is an old saying, children should be seen but not heard. At no time is this more apparent than when politicians speak. TheConservativeSyndicate.net, the adults in the room. Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardosa. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardosa Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific time. Visit his website at robertcardosalive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosalive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did. History affirms a vibrant civil society thrives on freedom of conscience, religion, and choice. Any society absent these qualities stifles individual responsibility and accountability, thus enslaving its people by denying them the potential for goodness, creativity, and altruism. To that extent, oppression, coercion, and totalitarianism are multiplied exponentially. To counter such outcomes, the American Freedom Alliance was formed. The AFA is a nonpartisan, non-aligned movement which promotes, defends, and upholds Western values and ideals. The Alliance strives to build an international coalition of citizens of the West who together promote and protect moral values, democracy, and freedom. To find out more and become part of this valuable asset in the preservation of freedom and all its rewards, contact us at AmericanFreedomAlliance.org. That's AmericanFreedomAlliance.org. Let freedom ring.
Am I not speaking English?
The ConservativeSyndicate.net, where we speak only one language, American. Okay, hey, we're back, and you're listening to the Conservative Syndicate, Real Conservative Talk from Real Conservatives, and we've got with us Audrey Russo from Real Talk Radio. Does her show on Thursday out there. You can go to our site, audreyrusso.com, and we'll just, in a few moments here, we'll find out who she's got coming up this week. But getting back to our conversation here about the reopening of the Clinton email investigation here by the FBI last week, and I'm kind of wondering, I know what I wanted to ask you, Audrey. One of the things I learned this morning, you know, the Clinton campaign has been up and down on this attempt to convince everybody that this thing is all locked up. The media's out there. You know, she's got 450 of the 271 electoral votes, according to some of the people in the media. You know, it must be they give extra credit for superdelegates or whatever, and it's all locked up. And, you know, lo and behold, I got an email. I don't know how I got on Obama's mailing list, but I get all their emails. And I got one from Robbie Mook this morning telling me that the latest Washington Post ABC poll shows 46% Hillary, 45% Trump. So it's like they lost at 11-point gap they had last week. And, of course, the thought behind it is we need more money, so send us money. Okay.
The billions of dollars that they've stolen, they need more money.
Yeah. But I'm hearing now that Hillary is going to spend almost this entire week in Florida. Okay, what that tells me, and I want to get your opinion on this, what that tells me is Florida has been, at least in the last 3 election cycles, the state that decided who won this thing. Mm-hmm. And so that tells me that this election, they know this election is basically a toss-up right now, and they're putting all their eggs in one basket that they can get that Broward-Dade County vote down there. Mm-hmm. You know, the Chad people. When we found out last week that she was down there meeting with the head of the election committee down there, Brenda Snipes, who runs the Broward County down there, secretly meeting, which, by the way, was a violation of law. And I'm wondering...
Really? Hillary didn't do that.
Huh?
She violate the law?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, it's kind of like, you know, Bill Clinton hanging out at the polls in Boston. Nobody seemed to think that was a big deal, going in there shaking the hands of people coming in and out of the voting booths. But she met with Brenda Snipes down there. I'm beginning to think that they know that this thing, once again, is going to all hang on the Chads down there in Florida. What do you think?
I don't know. She's hoping that, but I think it's going to be a joyously cruel surprise on her on Election Day. They're deceiving themselves. I want everyone to think Brexit. Think Brexit.
Yeah, that's my big thing.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be some big surprises. One of the things I'm looking at, I'm just kind of hoping this happens here, just for the purpose of being able to perhaps really entertain the idea of another, what do you want to say, ethical or prominent political party. That the race in Utah right now, Trump or Clinton may not get it. It may go to a third-party candidate who is running under their conservative brand. And they're saying if he takes Utah and he gets those electoral votes, this thing, who knows where this thing is going to go if it's that tight. And, you know, I'm really, I don't think this, let me put it this way. I don't think if this election is close, you know, within 5 to 10 electoral votes either way, I don't think either side is going to concede. I think we're going to. This is going to be Florida 2000 on steroids. That's my thought. What do you think?
I just don't think it's going to be close. I think I'm thinking double digits for him. People don't, well, definitely the pundits don't get it. The left is delusional, and we knew that from the start. But they're getting worse now. This is going to be very bad for her. It's going to be a horrible loss for her. She's not going to be able to handle it. But remember, they're working overtime to try to discourage people from going to the polls. I think people are going to go in spite of this. Especially, people don't like being called racist. People don't like being called xenophobe and the made-up term Islamophobe. You do that, and they're going to come out, and you're not going to know what they vote, but they ain't going to vote for you.
Yeah, I think, too. I think we've got a lot of closet Trumpsters out there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, in the same way, you know, I remember after Barack Obama was elected, I went on my show for almost a year. I said, I want anybody out there, any of you out there who voted for Barack Obama to call in. And nobody ever called in. So I'm thinking, well, somebody voted for this guy.
Yeah.
And are you that ashamed? Are you that ashamed?
Well, no. Yes, white guilt. White guilt voted for Obama. This is not the same, and they're trying to equate it with women's right. Let me tell you something. I'm a woman, okay? Women's rights doesn't come anywhere near slavery, okay? Nowhere near slavery, and that's why Obama got in there, and that's why he got in there twice. They were stupid. Anytime you vote out of guilt, you're a moron.
Yeah, I agree. Of course, my mother would probably disagree with the idea of slavery and women's rights being different.
That's okay, but I'm just saying that's, well, she's delusional, they're delusional, and I think our greatest joy is going to be when she loses.
Yeah,
and loses big. I think she'll just.
Yeah, I agree. And the joke I was trying to make there was the fact that my mom was always talking about how she was a slave to us kids. So sit there and slave over a hot stove all day, and your kids don't appreciate crap, that kind of stuff. So
it's mom guilt.
Anyway, Audrey, we're out of time here. I wanted to give you time. Who you got on the show this week?
Okay, this week we're giving one last shot across the bow to the Hague, or at the Hague. I'm having Kathleen Willey, Juanita Broderick, and Leslie Milwee on the show to talk about what Bill Clinton did and what Hillary Clinton did to them.
All right, and that's Thursday night, 8 o'clock out there on the East Coast, and you can visit her site at audreyrusso.com. So, I got to cut you off here. We're out of time here. Thanks so much, my dear, and I'll be talking to you during the week.
God bless you. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay, guys, it's time for the Edwards Notebook and pay some bills, and we'll be right back.
stripping money from the U.S. military budget to pour into government school systems is simply exacerbating two major problems. Hello, I'm Ron Edwards. On today's page from the Edwards Notebook, government schools in America have for years received enough money to ensure that more money is spent per student throughout the Republic than almost any other nation on earth. Yet, overall, America ranks 30th in the world in education quality, proving that spending the most money does not ensure the highest quality. Especially since the actual goal of American government school educators is to indoctrinate American students into being glorified, socially conscious globalists who are more in league with the United Nations, open borders, and climate change dogma than reading, writing, arithmetic, and true American history. In addition, the stripping away of needed funding from what has been the best military in the world has produced massive shortages in needed supplies at every level. Thus, the military is now at best heavily strained in the effort to protect America and maintain stability throughout the world. Hopefully, the scenario of double trouble is soon corrected through a return to providential guidance and an appreciation for America the Beautiful. I'm Ron Edwards.
A healthy attitude toward politics will always be relentlessly cynical. TheConservativeSyndicate.net, doing our part to keep America healthy.
Prices are for base buildings only. May not be available in some areas. Attention business owners, do you want a stimulus package that really works? Before you spend thousands of dollars more than you should on your next building project, listen to this. General Steel has a stimulus package designed to help you save as much as half the cost of conventional construction on your next building. As much as half. That's right, General Steel can save you thousands of dollars with a pre-engineered steel building designed for your business or church. How about a 50 by 100 foot building for under $30,000? So don't pay thousands more than you should without calling General Steel first and save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. With the projected demand for steel in Japan and China, prices may be skyrocketing.
877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. Term life insurance. It can be a powerful way to protect your assets and your family. You work hard to earn and save your money to build a nest egg for the future. Don't let it get wiped out because you didn't plan ahead. Take the time now and make a small investment in $500,000 or more in quality term life insurance. Call the Term Lifeline and let us shop the best companies to give you the lowest rates. We specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. Ask about some of our 10 and 20-year fixed rate plans with guaranteed rates. Call the Term Lifeline right now for your free insurance quote. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609. You owe it to yourself to protect your family and your assets. Make term life insurance part of that plan. Call the Term Lifeline right now. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardosa. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardosa Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosalive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosalive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
All you can do is just tell the truth and trust in the American people that over time they're going to know what the truth is.
Yes, it is time for the truth. Right here, right now. This is the Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. With your host, John Matthews.
The latter-day prophet. Baying against the hypocrisies of our time.
And Joe Hakos.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most informed pundits and activists available today. Together, we seek to tear down the imaginary wall, a separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement on the religion of politics and the politics of religion. And now, your host on the globally syndicated Conservative Syndicate, John Matthews and Joe Hakos.
Okay, hey, we're back. Hour two right here at the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. And I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos, who, like I said, is off today, and he'll be back tomorrow. I'm sure he'll be back tomorrow. And, as we were at break time, as I always do, I come on the internet just to see what's going on out there, see if there's anything breaking that perhaps we can be one of the first people to bring it to you, our loyal listeners out there. And I'm looking at right now. I'm sitting here as I'm speaking, looking at Jonathan Karl on ABC News. All right, ABC News, Jonathan Karl, and what they're reporting on right now. And this is weird coming from ABC News. Well, this is actually a rebroadcast. Okay, this is from Good Morning America this morning, which even makes it even a little bit more phenomenal. And I would say credible because these people don't like reporting the kind of stuff that I'm going to share with you right now. And that is that there is now, according to ABC, a 1-point gap between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Now, what they're saying here is that in the latest results, 46% of likely voters support Trump and 45% are for Clinton. With the data taken to a decimal place for illustrative purposes, a mere 0.7% of a percentage point divides them. Okay, so according to what they're saying is, Trump now leads Clinton by 8 points in the share of voters who are very enthusiastic about their choice. Okay, that means how enthusiastic are you about voting for your candidate? It's not 8 points overall. It's 8 points within the classification of those who are really excited about their people they're voting for. Okay, although they're saying that, well, across the board, that has dropped on both candidates. But Trump is like 53% and 45% for Clinton. So they're saying that the 1-point Clinton-Trump race is well within the ABC's margin of error. So anyway, what they're saying is basically we're now back to where we were just a few weeks ago. Before all this crap started with the sexual allegations, to use Megyn Kelly's famous phrase, sexual predator, Donald Trump's allegations that Donald Trump is a sexual predator. And, we saw a big hit. Trump took a big hit. And right now we're right back to where we were just a few weeks ago. And what's the cause of that, of course, is the FBI announcing that they're reopening their investigation, which has ignited fervor on both sides of the political aisle. See, because one of the things that it's not really being reported a lot right now, but it may be as we get just a few days out here, perhaps over the weekend, is that there are a lot of the Republican stalwarts, the establishment types, who jumped on the no Trump train and decided that they were going to throw their votes over to Hillary Clinton because she best represents the opportunity to protect their prestige, power, and wealth. And now some of these people are even coming out and attacking James Comey for making this kind of announcement. Well, it kind of one of the biggest revelations that we had in this election. You know, we've talked about it. Those of us on talk radio have talked about it, and we have floated it out there over the years, the 9 years that we've been on the air. We have floated this out there that, you know, we know all politicians are crooked, and we know that they all can be bought and this, that, and the other. But this election cycle really, really revealed to us just how crooked and corrupt the GOP establishment is. And that includes people that are, you know, were the darlings of the party, the Mitt Romneys, the John McCains, the Lindsey Grahams, all these people, Lamar Alexander, just to name a few, that these people are really, truly demonstrative and illustrative of being what we refer to now as rhinos. Republicans in name only, or as I like to refer to them, jackasses in elephant skins. And that has been the real revelation. And that revelation has been the cause and effect of the Trump phenomenon. And I was just amazed over the course of the weekend, the discourse I had with some no Trumpsters out there who just I mean, all I did was I posted what we did during the week on the show and gave a link to our website, theconservativesyndicate.net. Hey, if you want to catch some of our shows from the week, yeah, you know, go to this website, and this is what we talked about during the week. And the fervor and hatred for people like myself who have just decided it's better to have a Donald Trump in the White House than it is a Hillary Clinton. And, you know, we're sellouts and we're blind, we're stupid, we're idiots and everything else. And I know people on the other side of the aisle, people that are Republican operatives, who are telling me the same thing. They get it from the Trump people, Trump supporters, who attack, ferocious attacks, you know, and that kind of stuff. But that's what's happened. That's what the GOP establishment, not so much the leftist, the GOP establishment is the one that has perpetrated the Trump phenomenon, and that is the divisive factor that we have in our country, even more so this time around than Barack Obama. Barack Obama spent more than 7 years and will spend a total of 8 years in office using his divide and conquer strategy to advance the conservative agenda, or the liberal progressive agenda, and fundamentally transforming the United States of America. He's done a hell of a job with it. And that brought it within its own division within the electorate. That brought that divisive attitude and strategy and tactics has created the political divide that we have in the country right now. But the GOP took it to a different level because it showed within our own rank and file that many of the people that we elected to serve us have done nothing more but serve themselves, and have done it to the degree that that the left is normally accustomed to being related to. You know, we normally look at that. We normally, I look at many of the Republicans today and listen to them talk, and all you have to do is just put Obama's face on them. You know, I'm not going to say blackface. I'm going to say Obama's face, or Hillary Clinton's face, or Joe Biden's face, and you see the same and hear the same exact thing. Then you know, it's like, and then they try to lace it with little clips, little bites in there about how we want small government and limited government. No, they don't want small and limited government. They want government run big on their terms and conditions. So that's where we're at here. Anyway, let's go to our break here. We'll be right back, and I want to talk a little bit more. I'm going to expound a little bit more on this. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. We'll be right back.
A healthy attitude toward politics will always be relentlessly cynical. TheConservativeSyndicate.net, doing our part to keep America healthy.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification require cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing, and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Attention taxpayers. If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately. Call this special tax hotline today for free info at 1-866-761-0959. That's 1-866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959.
Am I not speaking English?
TheConservativeSyndicate.net, where we speak only one language, American. All right, hey, we're back, and this is the Conservative Syndicate, Real Conservative Talk from Real Conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, and Joe Hakels is off for the day. Should be back tomorrow. All right. Back to this thing here. I was talking about this poll that I scanned across during the break, and one of the things that it was saying is that basically where we're at right now is the election right now, according to polls, is virtually tied. I said I mentioned the polls because actually, whether we like it or not, is probably one of the few measuring sticks that we have. Of course, we can always debate whether the polls are skewed. We've talked about it on this show before. Are they surveying or are they polling likely voters, registered voters, adults? One of the things I noticed in this ABC poll is that they're saying it was a little over 1,100 people randomly, likely voters, a little over 1,100 of them, in English and Spanish. And the divide, the partisan divide, is 39 Democrats, 29 Republicans, and 27 independents. That might be 27 Republicans, 29 independents. And even with that skewing and the margin of error, we still have an election that's virtually tied. And so they're saying basically it's coming down to 4 or 5 swing states, and one of them is Florida, which I mentioned with when Audrey Russo from Real Talk Radio was on with us last hour, that Clinton is spending a lot of time in Florida this week. I understand. I read one article that said she was going to be in Florida all week. I don't know if that's true, but she's going to be spending some time there. And if she's not, somebody else is. Maybe Tim Kaine. Maybe they'll send Michelle Obama down there or somebody like that, One thing that's really kind of interesting about this whole thing, about the FBI reopening the email investigation on Hillary Clinton, is the silence, the absolute crickets coming out of the White House. We're not hearing anything. The closest thing I've heard to a comment is that Barack Obama, through his press secretary, Josh Earnest, has said basically he doesn't think that James Comey is trying to swing the election one way or the other. But no comments about anything here. And I wonder why. Could this thing be so hot that even Barack Obama feels like he can't weigh in? I also understand, and I may be wrong, but I don't, because I'm not seeing or hearing anything out there, that Barack Obama had canceled any campaign appearances that he was going to make for Hillary Clinton. See, these little things that kind of go on, and we're not really hearing too much about, really speaks volumes as to the tepid atmosphere, the fear, the trepidation. Nobody wants to really get caught in the crossfire that's going on right now with the Clinton campaign. And as I said earlier in their last hour, it looked like James Comey and Loretta Lynch were not seeing eye to eye on whether or not to do this thing, to announce what was going on. But there were a couple of factors that figured in James Comey feeling that it was he may be calling it the right thing to do. I would think it would be more in line with the necessary thing to do. And again, perhaps self-preservation. Perhaps that self-preservation kicked in with him. And he realized that, hey, there's a lot of people within the FBI itself that really thought he took one for the team here by simply not pursuing indictment or recommending indictment or charges being filed against Hillary Clinton, because all the evidence was there. All the evidence was there. And if you need to look for intent, the intent wasn't that hard to find. But when you give immunity to the very people that could provide the foundation of that intent, it makes sense that James Comey would say, well, no reasonable prosecutor would take this case on, because all the sources of evidence have been eliminated through granting of immunity, the destruction of evidence. I understand the agreement was, we'll look at Cheryl Mills' computers, but then in return for that, we'll let you destroy them. In fact, the FBI helped destroy them. And now we find emails being forwarded to Huma Abedin's private laptop that I guess she co-inhabits with her husband, or used to co-inhabit with her husband. And so, maybe Comey had a stroke of conscience here. Maybe his wife is a player in this thing, telling him, hey, you got to do the right thing here. And maybe that resulted in Comey thinking, somebody might leak here that we have these emails. And apparently they've had them, or not had the emails, but discovered that there are emails. And it's all in the language here. Discovered that there are emails on Huma Abedin's private laptop that had been forwarded to her Yahoo account. Boy, of all the places you want to not forward email, it would be a Yahoo account. The only one worse than that is a Google account. Okay, I have a Google Mail account. I seldom use it, very seldom use it. because I don't like the idea that everything that Google does now is all linked together. You got to have an email account to have a YouTube account, and everything is, and then you get into the Google circles, and all these things are interrelated, and they're talking to each other all the time. It's a beautiful tracking system by Google, so I don't use it that much, only when I absolutely have to. And and when I do open it up, it's spammed to high hell. You know, I probably have sent 25 emails through a Gmail account, and every time I open that account up, there's 200-300 spam messages there. You know, so yeah, you want to forward your private emails, especially state secrets and everything else. You want to forward them to a Yahoo account. You know, because maybe what Huma should have done was got Hillary to get her own private server so that she'd have a place to forward them, but maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, so all this is just coming out into this big mixed bag of gobbledygook, and it has affected the Clinton campaign in the polls, if the polls are to be believed. As I said, we use the polls because it's one of the few measuring devices that we have to go by, and these polls, they try to basically convince us that the election is over or the election is going whichever way, but now they can't do it. Maybe even the media is having a small stroke of conscience right now, thinking, hey, we can't go too far out on the limb here now because we just might be wrong. We might be wrong. I think they're more than just might be wrong. I think they're wrong. I think they're dead wrong. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Anyway, what's going on here? You know, every day something else is happening on these WikiLeaks things. And I had floated the idea, and Rush Limbaugh has floated the idea. Some of the other people out there in cyberspace and out on the internet and do talk shows and stuff, I'm sure have thought the same thing. That this email, this FBI reopening an investigation will be a great distraction from the WikiLeaks thing. But here's my thing. This is what I wanted to get to. This is basically the thrust of what I wanted to talk about today. And I'm going with an article here. I got an article that I pulled up on the Federalist this morning by Molly Hemingway. And she says in there, it's entitled, Clinton's attacks on Trump's Russia ties failed. Now what? Yesterday's anti-Trump opposition research dump was an embarrassment to opposition researchers and journalists. Let's aim higher. And now she goes on here. In here, she posts a tweet that is put out by the Hillary Clinton campaign. Now, before I tell you what the tweet says, and I posted it on our website, or not our website, but on our Facebook account. Again, if you want to go to facebook.com, Conservative Syndicate, you'll find it there. But all the noise is being made, okay? The FBI reopens its investigation. People on the left and right, establishment types, everybody out there screaming that the FBI needs to come clean. If you've got more emails or you found something that wasn't there before, you need to come clean on this, because what you've done is you're trying to sway the election. And we don't know what's on those emails. Let's not speculate what's on those emails. And that's why everybody needs to come clean. But here we have this release that was debunked within hours after it was released, that Donald Trump was secretly conversing on a private server with a bank over in Russia, Alpha Bank, I believe it's called, all right? And all of a sudden, that same standard that the left was holding, wanting to hold everybody accountable for, means absolutely nothing, and it has gone out the window here. And so that leads me to the tweet here. This is from the Clinton campaign this morning, all right? It's time for Trump to answer serious questions about his ties to Russia. And they reference and link an article that on Slate, the article that's supposed to be the big bombshell. And I'm going to share that article with you here, probably after our break at the bottom of the hour, because I want to set the foundation here. 4 things. Now she goes on. 4 things you need to know about the Trump organization's secret server to communicate with Russian Alpha Bank. Now, what happened to having the evidence? What happened to, because this article that Slate put out here, well, that interviewed and talked to the computer experts, which, by the way, nobody wants to be identified as because they're afraid they'll lose their jobs, because that's what they do for a living, is go out and look for malware and look for hackers and stuff like that. And the speculation. And the speculation in the Slate article leads to that conclusion, that it's speculation. Even the computer experts say, we don't know. It looks like, it smells funny, doesn't pass the test, the smell test, but we don't know. We don't know what was happening between this server of the Russian bank and Trump's private server. We can only speculate. We can only guess. But the tweet that the Clinton campaign puts out is this: Donald Trump has a secret server. Yes, a private citizen has a secret server. It was set up to communicate privately with a Putin-tied Russian bank called Alpha Bank. They don't know that. They don't know if it's a Putin-tied bank. It's a Russian-friendly bank, Alpha Bank, but they don't know that it's tied to Putin. When a reporter asked about it, they shut it down, and 1 week later they created a new server with a different name for the same purpose. Now, all of a sudden speculation becomes fact. Why? Because it's the Clinton campaign. If the Trump campaign or the FBI or anybody else comes out with something and says, hey, look, this is what we got. Oh, we need to stop the presses here. We need more information. We need transparency. We need disclosure, because the American people deserve that. But here we've got the Clinton campaign just coming out and blatantly saying, these are the facts. Donald Trump is secretly communicating with Russia through the Alpha Bank, and he's doing it because of his relationship with Vladimir Putin. There we go. And he got caught doing it, and so he shut it down and started another one. There you go. So don't give me all this crap from the left that it's all about honesty, integrity, and transparency. What a bunch of crap. We got to go to a break. We'll be right back.
Ever wonder how the credit card companies make their money? Well, think about this. If you owe $25,000 on 5 different credit cards and you make your minimum payments every month, here's what it's going to cost you. Are you sitting down? You'll shell out over $13,000 in additional interest, and it's going to take over 13 years to pay off your original $25,000 balance. That's how they make money. Now it's your turn to fight back by calling the Debt Solutions Network. We'll work on your behalf to reduce your debt. We specialize in credit cards, retail store cards, and medical bills. We promise we can and will reduce your debt. Call right now for a free 15-minute debt analysis. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392.
Expand your life with Extendovite.
When I had a heart attack at 42, I was not sure what the future held. But a year later, the doctors could find nothing wrong with me and took me off all my medication. What did I do? I took a herbal mixture of garlic, cayenne, and a few other herbs mixed in liquid form. I now call this Extendovite. I would have never believed that a few simple herbs could actually change my life like they did. Now it's your turn to see what the powers of garlic and cayenne can do for you. For only $69.95 plus shipping and handling for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid, you too can begin on your path to better health. For more information, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Expand your life with Extendovite.
I've owned my company for 14 years now, and I can tell you that payroll is a 4-letter word. I hate doing it. It eats up hours I don't have, and it costs me money I could be saving. But my accountant's too expensive, and I'm not sure who to call. But I know I need help.
We're Paychex, and we take all the hassles out of small business payroll. We save you time and money. It's easy. Call, fax, or give us your payroll information securely online, and we take care of the rest. We calculate the correct taxes, manage payments and direct deposits. We even send out your checks. Payroll doesn't need to be a four-letter word anymore. We're so sure that we can save you time and money that we'll give you a month's payroll free. Just for calling 877-663-3830. Get 1 month's payroll for free. Call Paychex right now. 877-663-3830. That's 877-663-3830.
Hey, I don't back anybody unless I believe in them. And I do believe in the value of investing in gold and silver. And the company I trust to buy my gold and silver from is Swiss America. I've been working with them for nearly a decade. I trust them, and you can too. Swiss America will help you sort through and find the best options available when you're considering investing in gold and silver coins. Listen, for over 30 years, Swiss America has been offering Americans what they want in their investments: safety, liquidity, quality, reliability, and a potential profit. Gold and silver have a place in every investor's portfolio. So why not let Swiss America help you diversify your investment portfolio now? Call now for free information. 800-978-3907. 800-978-3907. 800-978-3907. 800-978-3907.
If you've got joint pain, let me ask you a question. Would you like a high-quality knee, back, shoulder, or ankle brace at little or no cost? But just in case your reception isn't great, let me ask you again. Would you like a pain-relieving knee, back, shoulder, or ankle brace at little or no cost? Well, if you have Medicare insurance, you could qualify for these pain-relieving braces at little or no cost. And these are high-quality braces. They are very comfortable, and they've helped thousands relieve their pain. Now, I'd like you to imagine going on vacation, playing with your grandkids, just living your life again without pain. The Mobility Hotline is a referral service that connects folks with Medicare coverage and other insurance to accredited companies offering pain-relieving braces at little or no cost. And don't you worry about the Medicare paperwork. They'll handle it all for you. And they'll deliver your braces for free. Call the Mobility Hotline now. The call's free. 1-800-557-6150. 1-800-557-6150. 1-800-557-6150.
Am I not speaking English?
TheConservativeSyndicate.net, where we speak only one language, American. All right, hey, we're back. And this is the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. We want to encourage you to visit our website, TheConservativeSyndicate.net, and you can find this show in its archived form and any of our shows, anything that we've done on the air the last, I'm going to say on this site because we rebuilt the site a couple of years ago. But anything that's been on the air here, I'd say the last 4 or 5 years, you can find there. TheConservativeSyndicate.net. You can find out about our panel, what we do, why we do it, and who we do it with and who we do it for, which is you, our listening audience, TheConservativeSyndicate.net. All right, back to this situation here with the bank, the secret bank, the secret server to the secret bank for secret reasons. That's the way the Clinton campaign is playing this. And just to reiterate, it's like these people on the Clinton campaign and their leftist surrogates, people like Donna Brazile, Harry Reid, even Barack Obama for that matter, the way, the ease in which they just float back and forth between ethics, spins, and lies. You know, the FBI reopens the email investigation. We got Harry Reid out there today talking about James Comey violating the Hatch Act, which I guess is some kind of piece of legislation that tells agencies like the FBI, the Department of Justice and such, that when you get close to an election day, you're not really supposed to do or say anything. And from what we understand, the skinny out there right now is that this investigation has been ongoing with the Clintons. James Comey never really officially closed it. He promised Congress that if he found anything else, he would update them. And so in that regard, he's just keeping his word. But we also then find out that this has been known now for a few weeks. And the only thing that we could speculate about is that there was a discussion going on between not only internally at the FBI, but between FBI and the Justice Department as to whether or not this should be brought to Congress's and the public's attention. And James Comey apparently reading the tea leaves, and you'll understand why I use that phrase in just a moment. Reading the tea leaves, decides, you know what? There's a bunch of people here within my own department that are very upset with the fact that I didn't hang this woman, and so this stuff may be leaked by one or more rogue agent to get it out there, and it would look like we're covering something up. So rather than look like covering something up, we'll expose it or we'll bring it to the public's attention through Congress, and of course, in the process of doing so, the cover-up between the DOJ and the FBI was exposed. So there's cover-up either way. It's just this is a cover-up that the DOJ tried to block this thing. And now you've got people like Harry Reid out there with absolutely no ethics whatsoever. I mean, him and Hillary Clinton could be brother and sister, if not father and daughter, in terms of what he will do. And to the extent, he was asked in an interview, to what extent will you go when it comes to politics to get what you want? And he says, I haven't reached that place yet. Okay, he's willing to do or say anything because it serves as a means to an end. He admitted that he lied about Mitt Romney not paying taxes in 2012, but as he said, it got the job done. It swayed voters. It made people think that this rich man was hiding something from the American public. Of course, what was even more detrimental that was being hid from the American public is that Mitt Romney is an establishment hack. Okay, that's all that Harry Reid had to expose, and he could have done that through somebody else and not even had to be part of it. Okay, so anyway, what happens here is that there's a Franklin Foer story in Slate magazine, which I'm going to go into in just a moment here, was a Trump server communicating with Russia. The story isn't poorly written so much. I'm reading from the Federalist. I mentioned this earlier. Molly Hemingway. Read you a couple paragraphs here to kind of give you some context. At the top of Hillary Clinton's Twitter feed is a pinned tweet that links to a Franklin Foer story in Slate magazine. Headlined was a Trump server communicating with Russia. That was the tweet I mentioned to you before the break here, the last segment here. 4 things you need to know about the Trump Organization's secret server to communicate with Russian Alpha Bank. Donald Trump has a secret server. Yes, Donald Trump. It was set up to communicate privately with a Putin-tied Russian bank called Alpha Bank. When a reporter asked about it, they shut it down, and 1 week later they created a new server with a different name for the same purpose. That is the tweet that she's referring to here. Miss Hemingway goes on to say the story isn't poorly written so much as vaguely written. It never quite explains what exactly is going on or why it's disconcerting. Clinton's tweet recognizes that fatal flaw, so she summarizes and repackages it. Yeah, there you go. That's the way the Clintons work. That's the way all leftists work. That's the way Barack Obama works. You repackage it. You summarize it. You take your speculation and you float it out there as fact, and you repackage it. People on social media, more knowledgeable of the underlying technology in play, didn't love it and began poking holes in it immediately. These tweets are the first of threads detailing some of the problems with the story, such as there is no private server and that it wasn't set up to communicate with a Putin-tied Russian bank, and that it wasn't shut down after a reporter inquiry, and it wasn't reset up for the same purpose it never had. So everything stated in this Clinton tweet was immediately questioned, and basically people were saying, this is a bunch of BS. This is all made up. This is something that the Clinton campaign is floating out there to detract and distract and deflect from her own internal problems, primarily the reopening of the FBI investigation and WikiLeaks emails that show that the Clinton Foundation was basically a conduit to move money into Bill Clinton's private for-profit organization called Bill Clinton Incorporated. All right? And now here's the catch. or this is the irony of it, let me put it that way, within hours, the New York Times, the same New York Times, which is the media lapdog's right arm of the Clinton campaign, published a story that threw cold water on whatever exactly Franklin Foer was suggesting. From the New York Times, FBI officials spent weeks examining computer data showing an odd stream of activity to a Trump Organization server and Alpha Bank. Computer logs obtained by the New York Times, wow, I wonder how they got those, show that 2 servers at Alpha Bank sent more than 2,700 lookup messages. Lookup messages are attempts to contact a server. They just send them out there. We know them as spam. Okay, you just send these messages out there hoping to get some kind of response from the recipient on the other end. So the lookup message is a first step for one system's computers to talk to another, to a Trump-connected server beginning in the spring. That's this past spring. But the FBI ultimately concluded that there could be an innocuous explanation, like a marketing email or spam for the computer contacts. That's what spam does. Spam goes out there and it hits an IP address or a DNS server out there. It just goes out there, ping, 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 and it just keeps hitting. And what happens is they hope that you'll respond, that you'll click on it, and it will take you someplace. Excuse me. A lot of viruses are interjected that way. Go to this link to inherit $30,000 from a Nigerian prince, and you click on it, and now you have access to your server. So this could have been a hacking attempt by somebody who perhaps was using Alpha Bank's servers to do this, because that's what happens. That's what phishing is. What is phishing? They steal your email address, your IP address, and they use it to send to other recipients the messages. I get them all the time. Some of the websites that I work on in my private life, we get spam. You get notified spam, and you look at it, and they're sending from a bogus email address or an email address that they've stolen from somebody, and there's usually 1,000 emails attached to this thing that they're just spamming and just sending it. So what it looks like here is that somebody was using an Alpha server to ping a Trump server, and in doing so, these experts that we're going to talk about here at Slate, that were interviewed by Slate, said, well, this looked suspicious to us when they were out there looking for this kind of stuff. And we find out that, and then so the speculation started playing in, and by the time it got through the quote-unquote computer experts, the politicians picked it up and began to politicize it and came up with their own theories and then began to market them out there, put them on social media, not as theories but as fact. So I'll give you kind of preliminary there. We'll be right back. We got more to talk about here on this. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. Don't go away.
There is an old saying, children should be seen but not heard. At no time is this more apparent than when politicians speak. TheConservativeSyndicate.net, the adults in the room. Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did. History affirms a vibrant civil society thrives on freedom of conscience, religion, and choice.
Any society absent these qualities stifles individual responsibility and accountability, thus enslaving its people by denying them their potential for goodness, creativity, and altruism. To that extent, oppression, coercion, and totalitarianism are multiplied exponentially. To counter such outcomes, the American Freedom Alliance was formed. The AFA is a nonpartisan, non-aligned movement which promotes, defends, and upholds Western values and ideals. The Alliance strives to build an international coalition of citizens of the West who together promote and protect moral values, democracy, and freedom. To find out more and become part of this valuable asset in the preservation of freedom and all its rewards, contact us at AmericanFreedomAlliance.org. That's AmericanFreedomAlliance.org. Let freedom ring.
Am I not speaking English?
TheConservativeSyndicate.net, where we speak only one language, American. All right, hey, we're back. The Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews. Joe Hakos is off for the day. Should be back tomorrow. You know, the more I look at this article from Slate, which I'm going to try to relate to you in just a moment here, the more it looks like that this information that was given, I'm not going to go and just completely condemn the quote-unquote computer experts on this thing. Perhaps their intent and their desire was honorable. Perhaps, as they say, they were concerned about the integrity of the election, and that's what prompted them to go out and look and see if they could find any connections with Donald Trump in terms of him being hacked. That's what set these people off, according to what they relate to Slate, was that after the revelation that the DNC servers had been hacked, they thought, well, it's only fair, or we need to find out if that's really true, if there's really substance behind it. Are the Russians really involved? And if so, have they tried to do the same thing with Trump? That's the argument or the theory that the hypothesis, as they call it, that they came up with. So, but as I'm saying here, I'm still talking about Molly Hemingway's article on the Federalist right here. Just to reiterate here, she said that right after the Hillary Clinton campaign came out and made these blatant lying statements that Donald Trump had a secret server, as if a private citizen can't have a secret server or private server, that he was communicating secretly with a Russian bank tied to Putin. And, of course, that demands that he comes out and tells us exactly what his relationship is with Russia, all right? And she says that the FBI officials had spent weeks examining the computer. So that means somebody knew at the FBI that something was going on. Now, where that came from, we don't know. But anyway, the FBI determined that it could have just been spam. They had no evidence that it was indeed anything that any communication going on between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin, because that would be what they were checking for. Not that Donald Trump is conversing with a bank, but they want to know if there's any conversation going on between Putin and Trump. Obviously, you know, as the FBI should do, espionage or whatever, you know, that kind of thing. Secret deals, kind of like, you know, what we're going to have to face if Hillary Clinton gets in the White House. All the with the Clinton Foundation, all that money, pay for play, and all that stuff we have to worry about. How much the United States is going to cost to sell it to our enemies or other countries, whether they be enemy or ally, that kind of thing. So anyway, Hemingway goes on to say that there were other editors out there, and these are leftist rags. Noah Schachterman from the Daily Beast saw the flaws immediately and said, we passed on it. John Little of Blogs of War said he passed on the account because it had too many anonymous sources. Sam Biddle at The Intercept said it was at least 5 outlets, including The Intercept, have been looking at this for weeks and deciding it didn't add up. So there were people, this has been hanging out there for a while. This is weeks. This has been going on for weeks. And now it just suddenly comes up. Suddenly, 7 days before the election, it surfaces, kind of like the emails thing with the FBI. They've known for weeks that something was there. And James Comey perhaps sat on it because he didn't have a warrant apparently, that's what we're being told. He didn't have a warrant to go after the laptop, but he still felt compelled to notify Congress so that people wouldn't think when they did find out that the FBI was trying to cover up for Clinton. But at the same time this all comes out, we find out that reporters Ken Delanian, Cynthia McFadden, William M. Arkin, and Tom Winter all wrote a piece saying that the Trump advisor was getting that there was a Trump advisor getting an FBI inquiry. And then Mothers Jones David Cohn reported that a veteran spy has given the FBI information alleging a Russian operation to cultivate Donald Trump. Mother Jones, yeah, there's a real reliable source for you. But the problem is all these sources are anonymous. They're unidentified, and there is no evidence that's being presented. And that's why the New York Times and some of these other editors said, nah, we're not going to touch this. It's too shaky. It doesn't, in its own right, it doesn't pass the smell test. All right? So, but the left decided, hey, desperate times call for desperate measures. And so let's just throw it out there anyway. Let's do a Harry Reid, and let's just throw it out there anyway. And so and then Harry Reid does the same thing. He comes out, he writes a 4-page letter to the FBI, scolding James Comey. You violated the Hatch Act. And by the way, what's going on with this FBI investigation with Russia ties to Donald Trump? Just throw it out there. Doesn't have to have any validity. Doesn't have to be any substance. We've got just enough that we can throw it out there, that the media will grab it and run with it. And those people who are still sitting on the fence, if you're still sitting on the fence at this point, I would definitely go have your head examined. But apparently there's a bunch of you who are still sitting on the fence, all right? So all this plays into the Slate article itself. And so I was looking at this, and let's see here, where are we at here? Let me get the article down. Here it is. Was a Trump server communicating with Russia? By Franklin Foyer at Slate. It says, in late spring, this community of malware hunters placed itself in a high state of alarm. Word arrived that Russian hackers had infiltrated the servers of the Democratic National Committee, an attack persuasively detailed by the respected cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike. The computer scientists posited a logical hypothesis, which they set out to rigorously That's why can't I say that word? If the Russians were worming their way into the DNC, they might very well be attacking other entities central to the presidential campaign, including Donald Trump's many servers. We wanted to defend both campaigns because we wanted to preserve the integrity of the election, says one of the academics who works at a university that asked him not to speak with reporters because of the sensitive nature of his work. So most of these experts aren't even being identified because of the nature of their work, whether it be for universities, whether it be for private sector, whatever. They don't want to expose who they are because that would give away what they do and who they do it for. All right? Now, it says here that, as I try to explain the last segment here, a mail server can deliver a message to another mail server, but it has to have an IP address using the DNS. Now, I bring that up because one of the people, I want to focus the time I have here, just one of the people here that we're talking about, and I'm gonna scan down here. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I put it up here in the other notes here. Paul Vixie, who is a DNS code expert. And Paul Vixie served on the board of trustees of the American Registry for Internal Numbers. He also serves on the Security and Stability Advisory Committee of ICANN. The same ICANN is being turned over right now to private sector. So here's a man that sits on the board of ICANN, which has recently been turned over to private sector. And he is one of the people that people are looking at and asking him, what's going on here? Well, he paints a picture of possible collusion between Trump and this bank, Alpha Bank, over in Russia. There's Christopher Davis, another one. He's from cybersecurity firm Highest Infotech, and he has been used by the FBI. So apparently the FBI had contacted him about this. He had done some work with them and exposed another one. Another scandal was out there. So these are some of the players, and we're going to talk about it probably a little bit more tomorrow because we're out of time right now, and we're coming up on the end of the show here. But I want to just give you an idea here. This is desperation as I've never seen desperation coming out of any campaign for that matter. I've seen some dirty ones. I've seen some really nasty ones. But this one just takes the cake. That we're trying at the last minute here with a 1 to 2 point gap between Clinton and Trump. And Clinton knows she's in trouble. Despite what they're saying out there in the media, she's in trouble. And as Audrey Russo said earlier, we may just have a Brexit on our hands, and everybody on November 8th is going to be really surprised, pleasantly or otherwise. We'll see you guys tomorrow. God bless you. Visit our website, conservativesyndicate.net. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Conservative Syndicate, the nationally acclaimed, globally syndicated, politically incorrect talk show that seeks to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state. We want to make you aware you can find and access all our show archives at our website, theconservativesyndicate.net, as well as our broadcast stations and times. That's theconservativesyndicate.net. We so appreciate you taking the time to tune in, and we so look forward to continuing to bring you the best in uncompromised talk radio available on the net today. And remember, folks, it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down in life. It only matters how many times you get up. I'm John Matthews, along with Joe Hago, signing off until next time right here at the Conservative Syndicate. God bless you, and may God continue to bless America.